Okay, let's be real. Media and culture has defined happiness and success. We live in a sex culture that encourages us to have sex, lose your virginity, as fast as you can, get a high body count, watch porn, masturbate. It's all healthy, it's all good. Why would you restrict yourself? Why would you stop yourself from having pleasure, enjoying it, enjoying life? It's natural, it's biology. Follow your heart, they say. If you're still a virgin right now and you're watching this, you've probably been pressured to have sex, to lose your virginity. You're the weird one. You're the odd one out when you don't have sex. Just hook up with some girl. Have sex in some bathroom for all I care. I myself have been pressured to have sex, to just have sex, on numerous occasions through high school and university. That's just the culture. That's just the people that we live with in this world, right? Everyone around me is talking about sex. Talking about what they did or what they will do, encouraging me to have sex with, the girl that I'm talking with in class. Literally, there was this one time where I was encouraged by her own friends to have sex with her. Like, that's freaking wild, bro. That's insane to me. But that's the culture we live in, right? With all the media that we intake, pop culture, really all these external influences, they really shape our view of sex. At one point there was some girl that approached me in some library, I remember, and it was like asking me for my number. In my head I'm thinking like, yo, who the heck is this person? But my flesh took control for a second. I exchanged numbers. I was like thinking, if she lives near, maybe we could find a place to have sex, and knowing she wants it too, which is wild in of itself, but fortunately I killed my flesh and didn't do anything with that, because that is freaking insane. But when sex culture just marinates your mind, you easily fall into these patterns of thinking without even actually knowing it. You won't even notice that there's these changes, that there's something wrong here. And so, when the world celebrates sexual expression, just do it as much as you want with whoever you want. Well, it can change the way you think really, really quickly. We used to respect those people who had self-control and didn't indulge in sex with just anybody that they came across. Now we respect those who open themselves up to as many as to anybody, and has sex with the hottest girls in the club or something. Like, that's who we look up to. That's who we celebrate. Oh, that person's so cool. I can't believe they did that. That's the culture we live in right now. But we all know it's bad deep inside. All this desire for sexual expression, it comes from this like desperateness. Maybe this search for validation, poor mental health. Trying to rebel against the traditional values. Trying to conform to the social norms. Surrendering to the flesh and what you naturally desire. This individualistic culture, right? Personal fulfillment. When you have meaningless sex with people, you feel empty. Ask around, ask people. You start to have sex just to have sex, and sometimes with people that you aren't even really into. I have a number of friends that have told me these stories where they were just they had sex with some girl that they weren't even really into, but they found on the dating app, or they met at this party, so hey, let's get it in. It's freaking crazy, man. Do what you want, spin plates, have sex, whatever. I'm just encouraging you to think about it first. I don't think sex is as important as the culture says it is. There, I said it. This culture sees sex as a god, not a gift from God. And you can be, I believe, that you can be a fully functioning human being without having sex. I know what some people might be thinking. They'll be like, oh, this guy's just against sex, man. He thinks sex is bad. He's one of those Christians. No, I'm not. I think sex is good. I think it's an incredible thing. But in the context of marriage, right? When it's used in the way that God designed it for. And we could talk about that in a whole different video. It would really take, like, we could talk about that for hours, right? So I'm not going to talk about that here. But when we start idolizing sex, start using it however we want, especially in the way that culture tells us is the right way, or the good way to do it, we end up hurting people, and we end up hurting ourselves. So no, I won't be having sex mindlessly and just going after whatever desires I have in the moment. I don't think that's a smart thing to do. I don't think it's a smart thing for you to do either. Transitioning into this next part of the video, I want to talk about one of the common narratives in our sex culture that pretty much says you should gain experience with other people, gain experience with sex, so that you can be better in bed with your future wife. That is one of the common narratives that I hear when I go online, when I go on TikTok, when I go on YouTube, when I'm talking to people. This is a huge, huge idea right now, that if you get married as a virgin and have sex, then you won't know what to do, right? Your sex is not gonna work. It's gonna suck. Getting experience with different women beforehand helps resolve this problem. That's what people say. And if you've been chilling in the sexual media and culture for a while, you may start to believe these things. Brother, what's this guy talking about? This sounds right. This is obviously true. You want to have sex. You want to gain experience with women before you get married, so that you don't mess up, so that you learn from all the mistakes you've made in the past and not redo them in your marriage. And being married, this is another thing that people say, that if you marry someone as a virgin, then you may be actually sexually incompatible. That sex it just won't work out. You won't be able to have sex, good sex, for the rest of your life. These are the things that people are saying, and honestly, I think it's absolutely stupid. Just saying it. I think hookup culture and the fast sex life is just backwards. I don't think getting experience, sexual or not, I don't think it relates to how you relate with your wife when you get married. I don't think getting sexual experience is necessary. I don't see why you can't just learn how to have sex with your wife. This is, for some people in this culture, what I'm saying is mind-blowing to them. But why is it so hard to understand, and why is it so looked down upon to learn to have sex with your wife for the first time, and then when you're married, throughout all those years, you can learn and get better? I don't see why that's such a problem, but yet it is in this culture. And honestly, these problems just stem from this idea of how sex is so glorified in our culture. I wouldn't have to talk about these things. These things shouldn't be a debate, but they are now, right? Because with social media, you can say whatever you want. It's an opinion-based thing, and now whatever I'm saying is truth, right? Or movies or books or all these other things that influence us, influence how we live and what we think is normal and good. There's so many of these influences in our culture that have shaped us for the past centuries, right? If you decide to just go about and just do what you want in your life, let me just have sex right now. Let me just go out and have sex with a bunch of people. You can go ahead and do that, but think about it for a different perspective here, right? If you're sleeping around, you're living this type of lifestyle. When you have kids in the future, who is your son going to look up to? When you, his parents are his models, right? He's going to look up to his parents. That's who he sees the most, right? If your parents sees, if your son sees you, bro, he's just gonna become like you. He's gonna be doing the exact same things. Oh, let's go to the party life. Let's go to these clubs. Let's masturbate to this VR porn or whatever they're gonna have in the future, which is gonna be freaking insane. Think about your daughter, right? She's gonna be having sex with these guys, these random dudes, because that's all she thinks love is in the world when she sees you. I'm not saying that if you had sex that you're screwed now. That's a whole different video, right? Sometimes in the church we have Christians being looked down upon because they've lost their virginity. Oh, they're seen as dirty or unredeemable. That they're just these broken people that, oh man, you'd never want to go near those people. You never. That's a whole different thing that we should talk about in a different video. That's not what we're here to talk about today. I just want to make a video because I remember when I was younger and when I was surrounded by people who were talking about sex all the time, who were surrounded by like culture and these videos and everything, just slamming my face, right? Being like, oh, you should just have sex, lose your virginity. Why are you still a virgin? You're a nerd, right? You're missing out. I want to make this video for those people who are getting that pressure, right? Because I don't think you should have to be pressured to lose your virginity. I don't think it's like, oh man, like you're a virgin, you're a loser, right? I don't think you're missing out. If someone can give me a good reason to have sex before marriage, I would love to hear it. But right now, I don't think there's no reasons for me to do that. And I've looked into this, bro. I've looked into this. I remember when I was a kid that I would always try to figure out, like, why is sex after marriage? Why is that a thing for Christians? You know what I mean? Why can't I have sex now? And as I looked into the reasons why and people's experiences and some of these understandings of the world and culture, my mind exploded. I was like, damn, like, why would I have sex with just whoever? You know what I mean? Get to a point where you're literally just masturbating with other people's bodies. I think that's just sick. You know what I mean? Of course, people can do what they want. Follow your heart, but God will judge you someday. And so, like, why go this route in life? Why go against God? God told us all these things. If you look in Romans 1, but we ignore it because of our ego. We want to follow our desires and stuff. I don't think we should just be acting out on every desire, every passion, every emotion that we have. I think we'd be freaking crazy if we did that, But that is something that the world is telling us. And I don't think you should feel pressured to do something like that, especially when you don't understand the full perspectives and the consequences of your actions for doing something like just having sex for fun with whoever you want. There are consequences to your actions, and something as sacred as sex, when used inappropriately, just however way you want, there's going to be some real consequences down the line, some that may take years to really grow, and you'll see those problems. Some problems that will start right away. And I don't want you to be falling down that path. As a brother, I'm speaking to you like this because I was tempted by those things. I thought about these things deeply, man. And unfortunately, I chose not to indulge in those desires because I knew that, man, it would screw up my life, bro. It'd screw up my mind, my relationships, my relationship with God, you know what I mean? So that's it for this video. I would love to continue this conversation in the comment section below if you would like. These are just kind of some thoughts to put out there, but I think when we have some discussions down below, that's where we can get some real stuff going, because I think this is a topic that needs to be talked about that nobody talks about, So I just brought a few different points, a few different perspectives, and hopefully that can spark some new ideas, some new thought processes for yourself. But yeah, sex is cool, it's good, but just don't be a freaking animal with it, bro. Like, holy man. Don't, man, the culture of the media right now is insane. I honestly would say just like stop watching all the TikToks and YouTube and Instagram, because it's really screwing up your mind. It did for me for a long time, and that's what I'm talking about this video, because now that I saw the cultural perspectives and then trying to look at it with a Christian lens, man, it's freaking wild. It blows my mind. That's it for this video, though. Look, if anyone then knows the good they ought to do and doesn't do it, it's sin for them. So please, kill the flesh.
Phone up, girl, I need to go silent. Hold on, leave the city outside. It's been so long since I let them slide. Emotions showing up uninvited. Phone up, girl, I need to go silent.